moment for me this time of year because I started this online business in the busiest season, not only in the busiest general holiday season, but I was working in my own beauty salon. That is the time, and at a coastal town, that is the time of year where you are supposed to be extremely busy. So I was very, very busy, but guess what? I was still not making enough money. And that is what was very, very bad for me. Now, where a lot of people were having a holiday and everyone was coming to me to have their nails done and their hair done and their lashes done. And I always wished that I could have that, that I could be treated like that and not be the one always having to treat other people just because I really couldn't afford going on holiday. I had to work. But it wasn't that really pushed me to launch my online business in the busiest season. What it was when just before the school closed, I got another letter from the school saying that I couldn't send my kids back to school the following year if I don't pay up the school fees. Now, here I was already working extremely hard, already busy grinding. I've always worked hard in my life. If you worked hard, put a yes in the comments if you've worked hard, and you know it's never made you rich, right? I'm not a lazy person. I'm always ready to work hard. But I found myself always being busy, but not making enough. I was still falling through the cracks, still not making enough money. Just the big groceries was a challenge for me. And I got so tired of having to budget every single week. Okay, how much do I have for groceries this week? Okay, what am I going to do this week to get enough for next week? I was so tired of being on that hamster wheel, consistently worrying about money, lying awake at night thinking how many money I was owing and knowing I couldn't even make a payment arrangement because I couldn't pay my stuff. So I knew something in my life had to change. I just didn't know what. And here's what I did. And if you are one of those, you can put me in the comments. Have you been looking for online jobs? Have you been looking for remote jobs? Have you been sending in your CV for places because you know something needs to change? You are not making enough money. You need to do something. Your family is struggling. You are struggling. That's what I've been doing. Waiting, waiting to win the lotto, waiting to get a new job, waiting for someone to just come and save me out of my situation, waiting for good news. But you know what? I got tired of waiting. And I knew I needed to do something. I was actually praying for a way out of my financial situation because only a miracle could do that. And
Mhm.
this one day, I didn't, yeah, this one day I was looking online. It's amazing how the algorithm picks up what you're looking for and it just manifests in your life. There was a client that came into my beauty salon and she was spending a lot of money. Now, I live in a very small town in South Africa. You cannot make like a doctor's amount of money with in this town that I live in. And here she was, and she was spending a lot of money. And I asked her, "What do you do for a living?" And she said the two words that I've never heard in my life before. And she said, digital marketing. And I'm like, okay, what is that? And she gave me her email or her domain and she asked me to join a webinar, much like you are doing tonight. And I remember sitting where you are sitting tonight, tonight, some overseas it's day. And I remember people telling me about this. And I remember Amy's story. I remember, my goodness, if this woman is working two jobs and she can do it, then I can do it. Then I can surely put in 2 hours a day being a busy mom myself, busy mom of three. And I knew if they could do it, I could do it. But here's what where I kept to myself. Everyone on the webinar was making millions and they were making a lot of money. For me, it just sounded too good to be true. I've never seen, like Cecilia said, I've never seen a million in my life. I have never earned so much money in my life that I had a lot left over. I could never save money because there wasn't money to save. So when I heard these stories, it was all amazing. So I knew it was working and I saw it as an opportunity to an answer to prayer. I had no guarantee that this was going to work for me. Although everyone was talking about how this is a proven system and it was working, the only way for me was to find out and do it. And I took it as an answer to prayer and I bought my program and I started it in December. I started with my 2 hour workout. I followed it to the T because I wanted to test that out to see if this was going to work. I knew if it was going to be up to me, it will work because I will put in the effort. And then I will be able to say if this thing works or it doesn't. Well, something happened that I never thought possible. By 5 weeks, I left my beauty salon because I knew I found something better. I made 15,000 my first month, 54,000 my second, 120 my third, 280 my fourth. It went up to 300 and it kept on going up. And I made my first million in 6 months, my second million in 8, and I'm on the brink of making my third million, and that's all in 1 year. It blew my mind. And